I believe it was around 1980, somewhere in there. I was a 10-year-old boy in Ottawa, Kansas, which is south of Kansas City area, about 45 minutes or so. My dad was president of Ottawa University there. I grew up in Kansas for the most part, in Michigan. And anyway, for whatever reason, my parents were gone, and my older brother, who was usually there, was gone. And the only person in the house was my oldest sister and me. She's 11 years older, so she's 21, probably on summer break or something from college before she went on to do her thing. And so we were just there alone. Now, you got to remember, 1980 was a little different era. This was long before anybody knew what streaming was. If you said streaming in 1980, they wondered which creek you were talking about, right? And so you had the rabbit ears on your TV, or you had cable if you were lucky enough to get it. Well, we lived, because my dad was the president of the university, we lived in the president's house in Ottawa, Kansas, which was this sprawling ranch, enormous. I mean, it's nothing we could ever afford. It was on the edge of town, huge yards. I mean, it was great as a kid. Just a huge house. It was like 6 large bedrooms, 4 full baths, 2 huge living spaces, dining room, a den. It's just enormous. I mean, there's no way anybody should have that kind of house. But anyway, there we were, and that's important for you to know, that the scale of the house, because everybody was gone except my sister and I, and we were lucky enough to have cable at our house. Now, back then, you also need to know, some of you remember this, that cable didn't mean you had 300 channels. Cable meant that you got 15. Instead of maybe the 4 or 5 you could pick up between VHF and UHF, right? Remember that? And, you know, once you got past 13, I mean, you got like C-SPAN. Nobody watches C-SPAN even now. You know, they were just doing that to maybe get some government money or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, it wasn't like there were a lot of channels. And premium channels were just starting to take off. This is before Blockbuster. This is before VHS was a popular thing. And so if you ever wanted to watch a new release of a movie, you had to have HBO. Now and then, cable companies would offer HBO for free for a week. On those other weeks, you had to get, everybody ever do this? You had to get creative with your tinfoil in the cable line, and sometimes you could kind of see it. But anyway, this was one of these weeks where cable, HBO, was free. And so my sister, it's probably a weekend night, she says, what do I want to do with my little brother? And so she had this great idea. Hey, let's watch a scary movie that's coming up on HBO. That sounds like fun. We'll get scared together and it'll be great. So she pops some corn, and we're in our den in the house, in this massive house. And it's just she and I, and we watch Halloween. I'm 10. Bad idea, right? I am terrified the whole way through, because as far as I know, this happened like last week, you know, and not very far away, because it sure looked like a Midwestern town to me, you know, small town, and here's Michael going around, you know, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, the movie gets over, I'm white as a ghost, and my sister's just like, well, that was fun. See you in the morning. And makes her way through this sprawling house to her bedroom, which was like 100 yards from my bedroom. And so I'm in my room. It's just the 2 of us in this huge house. It's not a new house. It's old enough to creak a lot. And we lived kind of in the countryside. And I remember right outside my house was this huge oak tree. And stuff would drop off the tree onto the roof. And you'd hear every drop of an acorn or whatever was dropping that particular night. I was terrified. I was thinking, I remember there was this little old lady that lived in this tiny house just over there. But I thought, I haven't seen her for a long time. What if she's dead? What if Michael got to her? You know, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's probably right here. I'm freaking out. And so everything I wanted to do was to run into my sister's room and sleep on the floor. However, my brother told me, and this was a family rumor, we're not quite sure that it's true, that at that stage in my sister's life, she reportedly liked to sleep en natural. And the only thing scarier than Michael was seeing my naked sister. So I stayed in my bedroom and cowered all night long, and thank God I lived to tell about it. So that's my story of being scared as a kid.